Today's Neville Goddard conversation is reflection on his contributions to the word faith. So I titled today's mind map, Faith, the Unseen as Present Fact. Today on my way to the gym, I was listening to one of his lectures, which I believe was one of his last lectures back in 1972. And the lecture was called Faith, Loyalty to the Unseen Reality. Now, I found this to be very stimulating as far as ideas and reflections go on my experiences as I continued to work with this information over the years, discovering it via Think and Grow Rich in 2004, bringing me into a deeper understanding of the word faith. So, I mentioned on my Instagram, and I'll actually put a link to this post on my Instagram, that I find it unreasonable to assume that just known five sensory factors are the only factors involved with making a vision a reality. I believe that there are factors, and I was also listening to last night an audiobook of William Walker Atkinson, someone that I studied deeply and continue to study. And he was speaking of invisible factors, and some of you might recognize that he was said to have actually been one of the authors, one of the three initiates who wrote the book The Kabbalion, and some say alongside Paul Foster Case and Michael Whitty. Now, some of the discussions that I was listening to in state akin to sleep, because I like listening to certain audiobooks in state akin to sleep. As I was listening to some of the things that he was talking about, and really going into the nuances of what he was suggesting, a few things popped into my mind. Is that number one, more so every day, I can release from certain kinds of interpretation that suggests that what is known by the five senses is all there is that exists. Certainly we have been discovering more so every day how this works. And it was a great joy for me to go through this faith lecture by Neville today, because upon working with the information since I first discovered that lecture, and I listened to it many times, I feel like I understand it even more so when he says faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. So let's reflect upon this a little deeper. Here's a quote from another one of his lectures in which he says, "Believe in the reality of your own imaginal acts, for faith is loyalty to unseen reality. Have faith in your imaginal act. Although unseen by the outer world as an external fact, your loyalty to its unseen reality will cause the unseen to become seen by the world." So again, we have a preference in the matter. Do we want to believe certain interpretations based on five sensory experience and recreate them back again on the screen of space? We really have a preference in the matter. Or do we want to take a look at that thinking and say, is this really true in relation to my vision, my goal? We also want to allow and be more open-minded to potentiality and possibility, that there are factors known on how we're going to bring forth our vision, such as our behaviors, our skills, and our environments, things that we usually reflect upon in the entrepreneurial journey. There are also factors that are not known currently, unknown factors, that are drawn to the individual with a goal or a vision. And this combination, which happens some way, somehow, is facilitated by faith, knowingness that some way, somehow, you are going to achieve your vision. Some way, somehow. It is recommended that whatever experiences that you have in this five sensory world on the way to realizing your vision, recognize that you have the power to interpret it accurately from the perspective of your vision. This further draws upon to an individual as a result of the allowing of faith, which is knowing that some way, somehow, they will realize their vision, the factors that are known and unknown. So he says, if you have a goal, although it is unseen, it already exists. This is one of the first things that we want to recognize. Although I say journey to the destination, in the grand scheme of things, all things exist in the eternal now. Based on linear thinking, this might seem confusing and conflicting. This is why I recommend encouraging a fluidity of mind, allowing yourself to see reality from many different perspectives, which is why I recommend and I encourage studying reality from how others see reality, the different perspectives, the different opinions. See how they see reality, translate it over to the results that they have, and cross-reference that back over to the thinking, the psychology, the interpretations, the perspectives, and so forth. And see what happens if they resonate with you, adopt those perspectives. Now, in relation, let's reflect upon a quote so we can tie it all in from Thursday's video from Charles Hannell, in which he states, "The subconscious mind may be aroused and brought into action in any direction and made to serve us for any purpose by concentration. The practice of concentration requires control of the physical, mental, and physical being, all modes of consciousness, whether physical, mental, or physical, must be under control. Spiritual truth is therefore the controlling factor. It is this which enables you to grow out of limited attainment and reach a point where you will be able to translate modes of thought into character and consciousness." So that's where we tie in the Robert Dilts model here, because we have a vision, returning to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, as Neville Goddard articulates all throughout his discussions. And this is forming the self-image, the identity. Now, the congruence, or lack of, is revealed in our thinking, our values and beliefs, our capabilities, our behaviors, and in our environments. We can see it. We could see the state of mind that we're in. And what we want to do is return back to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, which is one with the vision, because when we do that, the ideal behaviors, capabilities, and environments start to and continue to rearrange in ways that we know, such as the behaviors, and in unknown ways. I dedicated a lot of time to go into very obscure ancient texts and interpretations of those texts to understand what these unseen factors are. The truth is, we don't have to know them. Some way, somehow, reality lovingly rearranges and reflects that vision. Some way, somehow. So we keep our mind fixed on the vision. And we can work with this model in a few ways here. Number one is, as we embody and continue to embody the feeling of the wish fulfilled, which is the state of mind that's one with the vision, we notice that we encourage certain capabilities, certain skills, certain behaviors. And we have a desire to be in certain environments, express certain behaviors. Those that are in the creative space know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. When you go into the state of mind that is ideal, the one that's in harmony with your vision, what you see in your imagination, that you want to express through your creative expression. You notice that your body automatically moves. Things seem to piece together. You get hunches and inspirations. People show up and contribute in expected and unexpected ways. And as you maintain that, there might even be a distortion of time. I noticed this with my experience, as I discussed in the last video in regards to concentration. Our goal is to, in a way, lose our identity in what it is that we're doing. Become so one with it that automatically the ideal capabilities, the skills, are expressed and cultivated to a higher degree. To become more fixed as the true identity. The behaviors are expressed, and our environments change, as in you bring forth your vision. Whatever it is your creative endeavor is, your entrepreneurial endeavor, or whatever it is. So what's happening is a person is remaining faithful. And in regards to what he said, faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. And although we might not know what way or what how, and there is an opportunity to reflect and connect the dots looking backwards, as Steve Jobs had articulated in his commencement speech. Connecting the dots looking backwards, and he actually gives great examples of his story in there. I recommend watching it. I'll actually put a link in the description to it. We'll actually notice that a lot of the work was done by the subconscious mind. Some way, somehow, we allow it to express through us. So concentration, as we spoke of in the last video, is automatic when we live in faith. And faith, in this level of simplicity of articulation from Neville Goddard, is loyalty to the unseen reality, the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and thinking and doing the things that return us back into the feeling of the wish fulfilled prior to expression. This calls upon the known factors as well as the unknown factors, because we recognize quite clearly that both the known and the unknown factors are drawn to the individual with goals and visions. And you know what you have to do or not do. This is the beautiful thing. In the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you know what to do and what not to do. And as you begin to live more in this faith, loyalty to the unseen reality, what you'll also find is you'll automatically do those things. You'll automatically do those things that you know you have to do. Thus, we understand further what Charles Haanel said in the Master Key System, that this kind of concentration that we're talking about, and those were some of the works that I was listening to yesterday from William Walker Atkinson, so I have to thank him very much to further emphasizing the power of concentration. As a matter of fact, he did a whole book on it, concentration. When we tie this all together, we recognize that faith translates into automatic, light-hearted conviction or concentration. So the question then becomes, how does one get into that state of faith or the feeling of the wish fulfilled? Well, to get into it, to enter into it, what we do is imagine ourselves being that person right now. As in, what would that person be doing behaviorally or capability? What environment would they be in? They could step into it. Step into that identity that's one with the vision. Do that thing. Or they can imagine themselves and see themselves as that person right now, which in actuality, if we would really like to split hairs here, we're actually doing that prior to stepping into the behaviors, environment, and capabilities. And that's fine, because both of those perspectives lead to the same end. The state or feeling of the wish fulfilled brings forth the ideal values and beliefs, capabilities, behaviors, as well as transforms us, because I say this many times all throughout our discussions. One of the great benefits of picking a goal or a vision and staying with it all the way till completion is that we go through the purification or the rearrangement of the mind. We become more of who we are. And I had learned this on the entrepreneurial journey. Now, I wouldn't suggest that one path is better than the other. I just speak from my experience on these videos that this was the path that I went on, and so thus I had experienced the purification of the mind through the process. In 2009, what I decided to do was have faith that some way, somehow, when I left corporate and started my IT business, it was going to work. I made it work. As I continued to maintain faith and, to the best of my ability, the feeling of the wish fulfilled, I would release from inaccurate thinking, inaccurate values, inaccurate beliefs, inaccurate understanding of my capabilities and the ability to express it, allowing the expression of it. Selecting automatically so, it appeared, and at times consciously so, ideal behaviors and environments that were one with that vision, and I changed. And when I got to that destination, I found myself at home with those environments, behaviors, capabilities, values, and beliefs. I felt more like myself. And so I then got into consulting, and I started this YouTube channel. And all throughout the journey, I've had different experiences, not just in the entrepreneurial space, relationship space, personal life, family life, many different areas of my life. And I would say that one of the greatest benefits of working with this self-realization and self-actualization personal development information is who you become on the journey. You see your authenticity express. You see how your concentration becomes automatic. You recognize and value the importance of having goals and visions and staying committed to them. Yes, things can be challenging at times, perhaps even extremely overwhelming, and there could be setbacks. But as we return back to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the state of mind, go back into the ideal environments, behaviors, capabilities, we transcend past those self-imposed limitations, ideas, interpretations, and perspectives about ourselves that, for whatever the reason may be, we were identifying with. And as a result, we're able to bring forth our vision in ways that we know, and also, or it could be a combination of both, ways that we do not know yet. And we allow it to happen. We don't have to think about those things. Personally, I have an interest in studying the origins of this information, a joy in doing it. We don't have to do it. It's a preference in the matter. If this is about bringing forth a vision or a goal, what we want to do is practice faith. And so we're going to probably have more discussions on this. And with each discussion, discuss it from a different slant, a different angle, a different perspective, so that this information can be in contribution and in harmony to your goals, your vision, and your ability to live in faith, loyalty, knowingness to your vision, and be more in that state of the feeling of the wish fulfilled, so that you could automatically allow the ideal values and beliefs and capabilities, behaviors and environment and other known elements, as well as the unknown factors, to be drawn to you, as we have been discovering all throughout this information, the parallels with this information from the different authors, and even going back to the origins of this information. that the known and the unknown factors favor those that have a vision, a goal, something that they desire to see brought forth. So the rearrangement of mind is occurring as reality is rearranging. That's why we say that that's the journey to the destination. Because when you get there, you have changed. Or more accurately put, you become who you really are. Now let's go ahead and conclude this with an affirmation to instill this. We can say, I recognize the reality of how the unseen reality expresses itself through me via my imaginal act. The outer world and external facts are rearranged to reflect my vision from the perspective of faith. I recognize that all things exist to the spiritual mind. And the mortal eye will start to see it through the rearrangement of the behaviors, the environment, the capabilities, and ways that may be currently unknown. This is the expression of the subconscious mind, which rearranges reality to the direction of my vision, unto and through me, bringing together an automatic concentration and attention on aspects and interpretation of those aspects that are in harmony and in contribution to my vision, thus further multiplying my flow and faith, which is loyalty to my vision, bringing it forth from the perspective of love. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.